cultures. But when we look at it, I have a nice picture here, because when people start thinking, those who are not from India, when they start thinking about Hinduism and then the concept of dharma, they become, what is it? We never heard. So that's how that baby's picture is. That is so surprised to see. But we had given a unique concept that is called as dharma or way of life. And if you study the ancient traditions of the world, which were existing for more than 2000 years, most of the ancient traditions were dharmic in nature. They were applicable to total humanity. They were thinking of human being in totality. They were thinking of gods and goddesses. There were so many goddesses in African tradition. There were so many goddesses in Hindu tradition. There were goddesses everywhere. So God was not a gender-based concept for all this. God was not a male. God was always something which was shared by both these genders. And then this dharma concept was given, and the simple definition what Vedas given was dhru dharati dharma. One which keeps the people together is dharma. One which keeps the society together is dharma. That's sort of simple definition they are given. And then when we look at what is dharma, dharma is a guidance. It is a guidelines for everyone to follow in on his passage of through lifetime and thereafter. So it doesn't stop at death, but it goes much beyond the death also. And then we discussed that most of this Chaturvarna Maya Suttam which Bhagavan Krishna had said in. So we try to divide the society. If you look at any society in the world, it can be divided into 4 different groups. One group is always intellectuals, which I belong to, is poor, the faculty in university. So the university teachers or school teachers or one who teaches is one group. Second group is always a businessman. Third group is always a warrior. You need the warrior. And fourth group is a serviceman. You need people to do the service. Any organization you take it, you will classify the group in that 4 groups. So that was the 4 varnas what they propagated. Similarly, the Indian philosophy or the Hindu philosophy divided the Hindu life or a human life into 4 different ashramas, which they said that from first year, from birth to the 25 years of age, you devote yourself to the studies of the scripture, studies of the life and all those things. After that you have a responsibility, because as a human being you have a responsibility to procreate. You have to create human beings like you, and that's why you get into a grihasthashrama, which is married life. You enjoy it for 25 years, but then there is the end to all the enjoyments also. So automatically, whether you want it or not, your body is not going to accept it. And I am now 55, so I understand that very well. So it is a grihasthashrama. So from 50 years, you learn how to detach yourself from the day-to-day activities, and that is known as vanaprastha. Because anyway, whether you want it or not, you are going to be detaching from this. So the grihasthashrama thought already prescribed that, okay, now it's a time for you to get out of it. And we all experience that, you take mother-in-law, daughter-in-law relationship, this is a universal relationship. The more mother-in-law gets into the life of daughter-in-law, it becomes unhappiness. So obviously, if mother-in-law is not in the life of daughter-in-law, it becomes happy. So this relationship, and this is not for Indians or anything, this is a universal. I traveled more than 70 countries. In all the countries, one of the best jokes you'll find is about relationship between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, because mother-in-law doesn't want to give away, daughter-in-law doesn't want to take the responsibility for mother-in-law. So obviously that relationship is always there. And then this all concepts really help in smooth sailing of the life, of a human life, to a betterment. And then these are the paths which Indian culture discussed and traditions were told. The another thing which we always thought was the holistic approach to the life. We never thought of compartmentalized thinking. So when you think anything which comes out of Indian philosophy, without blinking our eyes, we say Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya. There are hundreds of sects and thousands of saints in India. They were created. Not a single person has ever said, you follow my path and you go to heaven, otherwise you will go to hell. It was never said. They never ever could, in spite of all the diversity, the Indian mind or the Indian psyche, mindset, never could proclaim that follow my way and you go to heaven, otherwise you will go to hell. It was always a holistic approach towards life. Even you take anything, Ayurveda, if you study the Ayurveda, you are going to have a very good lecture after me. So Ayurveda talks about the whole picture of, so Ayurveda didn't have expert for the left ear and expert for the right ear, or expert for the left brain and right brain, or expert for the left foot or right foot, Ayurveda always thought about, any thought process which came out of India was always a holistic approach to the life, and that's why they try to understand the human being from 24 different ways. And you have 5 Jnanendriyas, sense of knowledge, which are there, 5 Karmendriyas are there, which are the organs of action. Then there are 5 elements, earth, water, space, air, fire, 5 different types of winds are there. There is a mind, there is the intellect, there is the chitta, and then there is the ego, ahankara. So if you understand these 24 different aspects of it, then only you will be able to understand the human being properly. So you cannot just take the mind and try to understand or analyze it. You cannot take just... So there is a very nice presentation. Once we were in South Dakota State University, it was in 1993, celebrating the 100 years of Swami Vivekananda's talk in USA. And one of the professors from psychology, he made a very beautiful presentation. It was very hilarious but very nice presentation. The presentation starts with a skit. One husband and wife comes and they say that I'm so confused. I don't know why I'm here. What is my role in this world? And all those things. And suddenly one person comes and he is fried. And he fried said that you are the symbol of sex and everything what you do is sex related and all those things. But then he is confused. Then comes the Karl Marx who talks about you are the economy and all those things. So different types of things. And then comes Swami Vivekananda, and then Swami Vivekananda says, you are the divine, ultimate, you are part of that ultimate. And that's how, then he said, wow, I am confused. So this is this confusion. If you have a sectarian, compartmentalized thinking, then it doesn't give a holistic picture. And that's why you need 24 different ways to understand the human being. That's what Indians thought about. And then another very interesting thing, India and Indian culture always believed, was it never believed in the solo performance. It always believed in concert performance. So when you look at the Ayurvedic medicines, when you look at any of this, so when the Indians come to America, their first training is to change their paradigm shift thinking from we to I. So when I came here in the United States, I started working. So I always used to report that we did this thing, we did this thing. So my professor told me, sir, if you want to work in America, you cannot say we did it, because we doesn't carry any meaning in America. You need to say that I did it, I worked for it, I did that, I did this. If that I is there, you did it. If we did it, nobody did it. And that was the very simple. So this was this approach of solo performance, and that happened in modern medicine. And I will share, I am a pharmacist by profession. You watch any TV ad for a new drug, what it does, it talks about 10 seconds for the therapeutic effect of the drug. And it talks for 40 seconds about the side effects of the drug. It will say that you don't take this, if you are pregnant, you don't take this, if you are taking this drug, don't take this, if you are having this problem, don't take this. And therapeutic effect, it can be used for particular therapeutic activity. So that 10 seconds, 40 seconds, this is the solo performance. On the contrary, the concert performance, you will hear it in Ayurveda presentation. It is a combination of so many things. Chavanpraj, there are like 70 or 80 herbs are included in it. So one fails, other will work. So this concert performance is something which is the great contribution, and we think about that concert. Not only that, we have established a very interesting human relationship with God, which probably very few in the rest of the world, most of the ancient traditions do believe in that. Without blinking our eyes, we say a mantra which is very simple. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva, tvameva bandhusya sakha tvameva, tvameva vidya dravanam tvameva, tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. You are my mother, you are my father, you are my sister, you are my brother, you are my everything. Now if you want to interpret that into a present day American context, you will have to say that God must be gay or lesbian. Because how he can be a mother, how he can be a father, how he can be a friend, how he can... So this concept of human relationship with God is so much intertwined in our way of life that we never go empty-handed to the God's temple. We will have to carry something, give it to the God and take something from the God. So there was a human relationship, give or take. Exactly same thing happens in African tradition. The African person will never go empty-handed when he is going for, he will carry some kola nut or carry a chicken, carry a bottle of wine to offer to the God, so that there will be some give and take. That human relationship with God is the uniqueness of this Indian culture. And very interestingly, we have a philosophical freedom. My father will be worshipping Shiva,